I'm Cara Gleeson. When I was 19, I travelled to Laos for 3 to 4 weeks by myself. I went over with my sister and I think we spent about 6 weeks together, but then at the end of it, she decided to go back home to make it in time for first week of semester. And I decided to stay on in Laos by myself. Just wanting to be the most cliched traveller as possible. I got dreads as soon as I arrived and I had like bright red hair, and I remember going into sort of some mountain kind of tribe sort of areas, and the kids had never seen a white woman before and like freaking out because, I had these dreads and, looked a bit weird. I went down to the south of Laos to an area called 4,000 Islands, which is a wide part of the Mekong River. To get there, I had to catch like a couple of buses, some tuk-tuks, some boats. But to get to the closest bank to cash in a traveller's check, because it was pre-ATM sort of travel time, it would have taken me a day or so. So I arrived in this absolute paradise, but I arrived and realised I only had $36 with me, and it was US dollars. So I budgeted out my money that I could have $6 a day if I stayed for 6 days, and $1 of that went to accommodation. I think $1 went to breakfast, and then maybe $2 to dinner, and I'd skip lunch, and a couple of dollars for beer. And I just had the most brilliant time there by myself, watching the sunset and sitting on a hammock a lot of the time, reading and meeting just interesting people that came by. There was only electricity for a couple of hours at night. There was this one tape being played in a cassette player over and over again, and of course it was Bob Marley, and it was just a lot of fun. It was just so different to the life that I had lived up until that point, and so it was really special to see this place where there wasn't the sort of the comforts that we were used to, but it was so beautiful, and the people were so lovely. I remember meeting some really nice people along that trip, and I do think that when you're by yourself, you're out of your comfort zone more, you meet more people. I know now I travel with my partner, and because we're a couple, it's a lot harder to meet people because I think people just sort of think that you're by yourself and you're on a romantic holiday, don't disturb you or something like that. And I really miss the early years of where you could just meet people from sort of, any walk of the life. When I sort of think of or look at other younger people that are in my life, I'm like, yeah, I was pretty young and joyfully naive about the world, and that's what was so beautiful to do it. Now I think it would be a lot harder because, I've been robbed now, so I know what that's like when you're travelling and all those things. So I'd be thinking about all those experiences rather than thinking of the awe of seeing a place for the first time by yourself.